You cannot trust such a person, masculine. This is a quick message for, um, this is somebody who, this is a masculine. It doesn't have to be a lover. Okay. What happened? Osiris. Osiris. No, pumpkin. Okay. It doesn't have to be a lover. Okay. But this is pertaining to a masculine that stepped up in some kind of way for an honorable feminine today. There's a masculine somewhere that they're aware of occult practices, they're aware of the assault on the honorable feminine's life and her children. Um, for some of you, they could have been involved at some point, okay? Um, and they've changed, okay? They changed. Something has happened in their lives to where they're just not with that stuff anymore. At least they don't. I'll say it this way: whoever these collective masculines are, they do not believe. They no longer feel as if the honorable feminines or their children deserve the kind of harassment and treatment that they've been receiving with the stalking and with the abuse of occult rituals. Okay. They stepped up today. Whenever you see this video, collective, okay? Today, as it's airing, it's Christmas Eve, okay, 2025. But whenever you see it, because these messages and readings are timeless, they stepped up on your behalf. There was a gift. They gave you a gift, okay? The gift for some of you was in the form of they stopped something. They either commanded something, ordered it, did some kind of spell themselves. They did something, realizing or feeling like everything that these people persistently, continually do is wrong, it's inhumane, it's unjust, and cruel. These could be individuals that could have visited some of these masculines because, like I said, these masculines could have been a part of it, whoever they are, whether this is a lover, a family member, a strange friend, it doesn't, it's going to be different for all of you. But today they could have been visited by the very ones that's most persistently doing rituals on you and your children. Those that have closest proximity. You know, it's Christmas Eve. Okay, when this is originally airing, it's like, okay, it's Christmas Eve. That sounds about right, doesn't it? It's Christmas Eve. Even if people are in jail, whether people are in jail, you know what I'm saying, visiting family members typically for the holidays, you know, jails, you know. They have, certain concessions for shit. Okay, not all of them are in jail, y'all, but I'm just saying, depending on how this message applies to you, this could be men that are in jail or in some kind of correctional facility or in some kind of rehab facility, or it's just maybe they visited whoever these people are that have been abusing the occult. They visited these masculines. Masculine, this part of the message is for you. The title says, Masculine, you cannot trust such a person or something like that. Because what happens is these are trickster energies that these masculines themselves at some point were just as tricksterish as these people. Okay, if not worse. And they know that. Okay. And when you're dealing with this kind of stuff that you can't really trust anything that come out of these people's mouths. You can't trust anything that they tell you. Yeah, especially once you discover that they're obsessed and that they're not letting go of that obsession. And here's why. Masculines, if this is applying to you, you stop something today for a while. And even still, for some of you, something is still running, energetically running. So something is maybe not having the same effect as it once was or did. However, if you think that these people truly have decided to leave feminine and her children alone, you're mistaken. Your gifts, your talents, and your capabilities should help you to understand or understand that that's never going to happen. You can give them some money, and that's never going to happen. Maybe you did that today, but I can tell you this: they came home and they just started doing spell work immediately on honorable feminine and her children. Immediately. Sending the same old played out stuff, the same old violent energies to their children through video games, technology, the same old antics they've been up to from the beginning. They commenced to making the same noise. They came immediately slamming the doors and doing what they have been doing on a regularly scheduled program. Now, let me say this for the record. The masculines that's still up to bullshit, this is really not for you. Because for you, then the plan was such. That's the shenanigans, that's the karmic energy. So I need to like separate all these different energies, okay? Because there's karmics, there's men who really regret and are on some kind of transformation themselves and they're legit at this point. And then there's those that are still in that trickster, narcissistic, egotistical, I'm pissed and I'm gonna play this game, blah, 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 blah. This is to the masculines that want this over with, want this to stop. They have not stopped. If they were with you today, by the time they finished doing whatever it was they done with you or anywhere else they went, they came home and got right to their regularly scheduled shenanigans. So consider this, if you really did something to help feminine and support feminine and her children today, that was received with honor. However, ain't nothing stopped. Okay? Your control level over them is not what you think. You need to do what you need to do. To those of you this message is for, you know who you are out there. If it doesn't apply to you, let it fly. Because once again, this could be, like I said, different men, also different women, because this is to do with karmic women that has been exploiting and abusing the occult. Some of the collectives, relatives that's in cahoots with these people. Y'all know the story. This obsession is not going anywhere, and it's not a matter of what you say to them and how you kiss their ass or how you fluff up their wounded egos. This is not going nowhere. They will appease you, especially if there's money that they can get from you. You should know this by now. They will say to you, they will appease to your ego, masculine. You should know this by now. They will make promises, they will cry, they will say how much they love you. They will do all whatever it takes to get whatever that is, even if it's just to distract you and to keep you from you. These obsessions aren't ever going to change. And this needs to ring throughout the ethers loud to you. You're not going to be able to buy these people off. They will double cross you as they always have. It's never going to happen. They can talk about how they've seen the light and how they're going through an awakening and how they're going to counseling. It's never going to happen because I'm here to tell you right now, in this now moment, what took place immediately. They didn't come home changed and renewed and refreshed and ready to move on and to stop the bullshit. Feminine has laid low and took the opportunity to just be with herself, rest, and not so much, she's content creator, so not so much she did her thing early, and then after that, took the opportunity because they still was at it all day up until they left, especially after feminine did any kind of social media appearance. It continued. The quicker any of you out there, the masculines and anybody else for that matter, I'll say for the record, the quicker you can accept that this is not changing. You're not about to, you have to get to the place to accept what is in terms of what you're really dealing with versus what you want to believe or you have to get there. If you don't, it only bites you. It bites you later. And this is whenever you all manage to see the video. I don't know This is on my laptop, so I don't know if any of the masculines are up or seeing, but I just wanted to create it. Chances are it's the very person, because they are always the first to watch. The people who are doing the spells and the stalking the most are usually the ones first to watch, so that they can determine and do, all the things. So all I can tell y'all is listen, it's dangerous to have that luxury is dangerous. The luxury of thinking that you have that kind of power and control over these people and you don't. They will say what they need to say to you, masculine. This is your friends, your family, all of them. You know who they are. You know who they are. You know they money hungry. You know that they're attention whores. You know in some cases it ain't even about love. You know it deep down. I ain't gonna, our egos want us to, our egos be like, yeah, yeah, I'm the shit. But deep, deep down, we be knowing. It don't be about that. It be about that they own some control freak shit. And it be on, when they have it in for feminine, because the fact that you care about feminine is what bugs these women the most. Are you hearing me? And I'm talking if this is an estranged family member, because in some cases it's not always a lover for some of us. So hear it good. Whether you are someone that the collective grew up with, an estranged family member, or an actual ex, the fact that you care for the honorable feminists, they're not going to say that to you because it's going to make them look bad, friend. That's not a good look, okay? With the exception of some super toxic dynamics. For those of y'all that was like some Bonnie and Clyde shit. But these other circumstances and situations, it's not a bad look. They cannot allude to that. They're bothered by the fact that you care for the health and the well-being, which is it's a sick old sad thing, but it's the truth. They want vengeance for it. Oh, you care. Especially if these folks aren't used to that. Especially if you were on a toxic side of this thing with them at some point. That bugs them. Even if, you are moved on, feminine is moved on, that don't matter. You may reason within yourself and say, well, it shouldn't matter. Everybody has moved on. Feminine has moved on. I've moved on. I'm with who I'm with. I don't know who feminine with. Life has gone on. Why does that matter? I care about her as a person. She's a person. I care about her health and well being. She's a person. She's a human being. Her children is a human being. They human. They I care about that. I care that what we were doing is toxic and it's not okay. And I wouldn't want that done to me and mine. I would have a bitch freak attack. And I care about the person. That shouldn't bother them if everybody else has moved on, if everyone has moved on with their lives. Yeah, you're thinking logically. And the bottom line is you're not dealing with that. You're not dealing with logic. You're dealing with obsessed people with inner child wounds, traumas, triggers, all these things that they refuse to deal with. And feminine is the unfortunate object of it to them. If you've never acted that way before, then you should be able to really see and understand why this is so hard for them. If you were the biggest trash talker of the honorable feminine of all, the biggest clowner, like if you were the you know, the leader of the pack, to switch it up, they ain't never getting over that. Just like they ain't never get. I don't care if they still say, "I'm over it. We can move past this. Let's just." No, ain't none of these people ever. They didn't been violating feminine and her children for years. This whole time, for however long you knew her, up to this now moment that I'm speaking. They ain't got saved and delivered. Some of y'all, it depends on what kind of folks you're dealing with, but they ain't got no saved and no delivered. They know they came home, motherfucker, and got to the regular schedule program. They ain't ready to start anew and end the year on a higher vibration. That sounds nice. Much like the rest of these folks who have a problem with the feminines, this is never going away because it's a deep rooted thing in them that there's no amount of money going to change it. No amount of job opportunity, love offer, business, because some people think, well, let's talk business. I'm telling you now, they still gonna double cross your ass, and you're gonna be mad. You cannot buy these femme fatales. You're not going to be able to appease them from harassing feminine and their children in their life. It's not going to work. That's never going to work. They will continue to just simply get creative with outsourcing ways to continue doing it. And some, they're not going to even outsource. They just going to get to the regular schedule program. They're like, okay, I did that. Now I'm going to go and finish the spells. I know a lot of masculines is used to being able to use their money, because whoever helped feminine today, they have some kind of money. I don't know, I can't say they rich per se, but I can say that they got some kind of money though, to where it's like maybe you're used to, if you're that masculine, hearing this someday, maybe you're used to that, because money talks. You know that money talks, that money is a motivator. You could have been someone who said that. But that's null and void when you're dealing with a psychotic. This is why, in my humble opinion, I believe it serves to get knowledgeable about some of this stuff. And I'm not trying to be funny or anything. I'm just simply saying because that'll help. Like, if when you know what you're dealing with, then it helps you to catch up faster and go, okay, this ain't about putting them an offer on the table. This ain't just about, okay, this person is in need of money. Okay, I'm offering them a job then, and maybe if I offer them a job or this contract, or this will take their mind off of this. This will help them to, you know, move on and move past some things, and stop obsessing. I get the logic, but that's not going to work. They'll take it because ain't nobody finna turn down no money. Ain't nobody finna turn down no job. Ain't nobody finna turn, yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. And they'll use it for more spell work against the very person that you're asking them to leave alone. That's dangerous, masculines, because again, it's these women and their children that continues to be affected by these femme fatales. It's a dangerous game, and it's an unjust and unfair one. The bottom line is these are the types you must nip shit in the bud, period. You must. Some of you, I don't know if these people, who knows, so many different bunch of energy. But I just want to say that. So, from the Honorable Feminines, we received with honor your gift. But if you really want to do honor by her, finish this. Stop the game. And I'm talking strange families. Follow me because I need this understood. I need this to be heard. Stop the game. Stop the bullshit. Stop appeasing these femme fatales. Whether that is the femme fatales in the Honorable Feminine's family or anyone else. Your exes, your affairs, your relatives. Stop playing the game. This is only perpetuating further unnecessary injustices, further delays and irritations and agitations. And chances are it's going to hurt you in some way. Because the longer we intermingle with toxic energy willfully, I know we can't avoid it altogether. I know how they immerse their lives in entangled proximity. I understand that. But as long as we willingly and intentionally, even when it's within our power and means to do differently, we pay. We take on their karma, we take on aspects of it. We're giving people money that we know is weirdo, we know is out here secretly doing shit. Yeah, we are becoming a partner with what's attached to it. Holiday. It's the holidays, and yeah, because they good. They put on good show. Let me tell you what I know. What I know about karmics, men and women alike, and ain't just the women. I'm only referencing women as it pertains to this specific message for today, but it's both men and women. I'm telling you, put on a good show for the holidays. And tell you something, holidays and tax season. Okay, tax season, depending on their tax bracket. Okay, because for some tax season, is not all that great. Okay, you're gonna come out the bottom. But others, that, because they're going to use the Shaquan's kids and the other one's kids and, all, boom, bitch. Y'all, come on now. Y'all, I'm talking And so I call them, what did I used to call it? This is back in COVID. I was like, what was it? I laughed at myself. Shit. I was like, well, that is what it is. Because it's this energy of suddenly everybody want to make their family work. Suddenly this chaotic, catastrophic relationship, on and off again shit. All of a sudden there's every time there's some kind of special holiday, Christmas, payday. There's a pattern of the sudden get rights. I really been reflecting, you know. And listen, I'm not disputing where people are sincere and legitimate in the universe and they're just wanting to, that's a separate animal. I'm referencing these toxic patterns that many of us eventually learned how to recognize. You get the sudden get rights. It's Christmas time. And if Christmas is something, because not everybody's into, but if it's something that folks is into big time, it's like, oh, I want to go Christmas shopping. I want to go, okay, and they finna be repenting, bitch. They finna go to therapy, bitch. They finna get the sudden cases of the get rights because they want you to shop. All of a sudden, they are willing to go to therapy. They're willing to go get deliverance. They're willing to get an exorcism done on their ass. You know what I'm saying? All of us, all of a sudden, oh, they real pliable for you. They making you pancakes shaped in your favorite shape. Okay, they got on a French. They finna appease to all your shit. Okay, y'all better get wet. Y'all better get wet. They gonna piece of all your shit. You like, you like the whole, because ain't nothing wrong with these things. They're just gonna exploit it. You like the whole role play, bitch. Shit, they finna make it real wonderful. Okay, to convince you. They want to make their family work. Let's do it again. Realize life is short. They can give you all the perfect stands. Life is too short. Yeah, you would think, huh? But see, this is all a game for folks like this. It's a game. That's all it is, and all it will ever be. What's the matter, Pumpkin? Oh, Mama said. What's the matter with this a baby boy? Booty boy pumpkin. Anywho, win at all costs. And sometimes, in the romantic sense, for y'all out there, they don't even be wanting you for real. It's a game. It's control. It's to win at all costs. They loathe the honorable feminine. You know it. And the reason why I say you know it is because you did something yourself to assist her. So you know it. That they loathe her entirely and that they don't have any sense of restraint or balance because they even spill that over onto her children. Anything to get attention, anything to feel powerful, anything. You know that. It's only quiet like right now, masculine, whenever you see this video at this juncture of the video, because they here watching. Honey. possibly concocting, doing spells, or concocting their next one, the next strategy, the next lie they're going to tell. And even as it pertains to, like I said, if this extended friends and family of feminine, if it's your sister, these femme fatales that's got it in for feminine, if that's your sister, your mother, your auntie, your niece, somebody you went to school with, you can't fix this. You can't fix it. And it's not a slight on you. It's just this is deep. It's deeper than some small time spiffs and things, riffs and not spiffs. It's deeper than that. This is some deep rooted hatred that's been covered. This is deep rooted jealousy that's been hidden. And when we say jealousy, we're not talking about light jealousy that everybody experience or feel, which I've never really understood it, but I've accepted that that might have more to do with how I came here, which is a part of why I can't fully understand. But it's not, it's in the book that most of some of you out there read. And these femme fatales, they have a fantasy of the honorable feminine being jealous of them. They have a fantasy. They want a destiny swap. So they try to manufacture an illusion of it. They do all sorts of things behind the scene. But the truth of the matter is, it's them. And it's not going to change. It's not going to be when you go take them to Starbucks and talk with them, or you take them on a trip, or this is deep. They don't have any interest of being seen as what's true of them. They don't have any interest in any true wholeness and healing, even as it pertains to a connection with feminine, where this is to do with relative types of connections. They're not interested in that. They never was. Masculine, you cannot fix these women. You can't fix your mother. You cannot fix your sister. You cannot fix your niece. You cannot fix your cousin. You cannot fix your baby mama. You can't fix your sister. Once you know what you know, it is your responsibility to make changes that needs to be made according to your own guidance. You apparently care for feminine, realizing that this treatment is wrong, but that it can't stop there because they're not going to stop. They're up there doing stuff now. Whoever is closest to the feminine, prospectively, as you all watch this video, is in real time doing shit. any empathy and compassion that you have come to have needs to go towards justice. That's the best way I can put it, because the whole, well, that's my this and that's my that and that's the that, that's neither here nor there when it comes to justice needing to be served. Is there casualties? Yes. Is it unfortunate? Yes. But sometimes that's the only way to get to justice, because there's already casualties, and guess where the casualties are? It's feminine and her children. There are already casualties, innocent casualties, already, unjustly. Feminine is a mother. Feminine is all someone has. And feminine and her children are no less than any of your people or anybody else out there. It's about justice. And sometimes that means people need to be held accountable, masculine, for their behavior and their conduct, whether they're your baby mama or not, whether it's your mother or not. We have to address toxicity for what it is. There's no room for this leisure, lackadaisical attitude about people that we know are abusive. People who are abusing their knowledge of the cult, people who are abusing their positions, people who are abusing their power, resources, connects against innocent life. There's no room for that. Now, I want to say as a side message, none connected to the masculines that helped out feminine today, as a side separate message, to all the on behalf of the honorable feminines around the world that resonate with these stories, to all of the handlers, the relatives and exes who were actually ops. Listen, I know this is something that you all are going to catch up with later. We know. For those of us where it was like when we were young, because this stuff is going back, it's going back, because it's deeper than anybody want to admit out loud. This is to do with deep state black ops. We know what you did, and you should be ashamed of yourself. Some of us, our people, sold us out for famous people or people who was trying to be up and coming to be famous. They made deals with the corrupt government and these people's families and parents to sell us out. And some of us was teeny boppers, all of 1920, if that. hmm And as you reflect, it's crystal clear. The writing is all over the wall, the way it happened. Hmm. And then they did other detestable things with your child. They all should be ashamed of themselves. Every last one of them. Every last one of them. And as they currently in real time continue to lie, they super should be shamed. And they won't be. I made the joke the other day. You got to have a fucking conscience. And that's something they don't have. A sociopath does not have a conscience because the priority is their reputation. That's why I say that. The priority is not justice and fairness for all. The priority is this will make me look bad, and I don't want to look bad. And so I need to get ahead of it and damage control and inflict further abuse upon the abuse in which I've already conducted. That's a sociopath. They should all feel ashamed of themselves. But they got off of it because some of them, y'all, they're sadists. They got off on that shit. Yeah, you as a teenager and your baby. Mhm. Christians. And they claim they change. See, this I talk like this for those out there who are really coming into the place, have a heart for feminine and trying to change, but you're gonna have to deal with this. You're gonna have to face it head on. You're gonna have to stop appeasing these abusers. That's a part of what has perpetuated abuse to start. Being scared of these women because of who they know, you're gonna have to face your fears and face your issues with them. Until enough people do that, they're gonna do nothing but continue to be the bullies they've always been. Spiritual bullies, occult bullies, religious bullies. They're going to do nothing but continue to be the bullies, the pretentious, racist, prejudice, whatever the case may be, bullies they've always been. But we know to the other message, like I said, we know about um, the handlers, the caretakers, the parents. We know their role in working with black deep state black ops. We also know about the honeypots lovers. Yep. And not just the ones we met on in person, but the ones we met online. that just so happened to, you know. And, oh, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Listen, we know. And this is what we have to say about that. The ones that are changing and maybe going through some type of a transcendence themselves and evolving and want to be better, and okay, that's okay, great. Perhaps you will face feminine one day and stop being a lion fuck. But the ones, the ones who are still on that stuff, I'm willing to bet by now, in this now moment, they know that feminine is a lot smarter than she lead on to be. Because she gives room. She leans into it. She leans into how folks operate with her. That people tell her what she needs to know, whether they know it or not. They do. She leans into it. There's no hell. Listen, for some of these honeypots, they sent certain ones for a reason because she's smart, motherfucker. And they knew it. They knew that at some point of her development, listen, they knew that at some stage, that's why they needed to send in maybe a certain grade and level, because it's like, I ain't gonna sit there. We need you to do some tearing out, some investigating. I need you to study the bitch. And whoa, she's smart. And as she ages, and as she goes through life, this is only going to increase. And once she goes through some stuff, is this see if you can trick her. See if you can get her to, and she'll lean into it. Because guess what? Whether these people know it or not, the joke is on them. Because they're being presented with an opportunity to not be a sorry fuck. They're being presented, they don't know that. They think they're doing some kind of great job. It's like, you're doing a job, all right. But what you don't know is this is your opportunity to be a legit motherfucker or to stay being the toxic club. This is your opportunity to honor this woman and stop playing games, because that's going to be the trajectory of your life right here. You said it. You said it for yourself. Are you going to continue to try to gaslight this lady, or are you going to be on the up and up with her ass? Are you going to try to sit and do some more spells on her ass, or are you going to be legit and be a real nigga? And based on whatever decisions they make is the fruit they shall receive at some point. In some cases, this is going to accelerate. Just depends. Because again, honorable feminine and her children, this is not a game. People believe in these lies from these corrupt officials. You ain't that damn intelligent. Then there's some missing pieces if you motherfucker. I get it. It's it's convincing, but if folks is as intelligent, I'll put it that way. I understand that people can come with some convincing, especially corrupt authority. But at some point, for those who are as intuitive and discerning and intelligent as they claim to be, motherfucker, at some point, with that on top of your own assessment, because that's what the critical skills are for. That's the That's what our critical thinking is for. That's what our intelligence is for. That's what our gut and all of those things in which society and the world and government and you name it have tried to beat the holy hell out of us. That's what all of that is for. So that you can have a proper analysis, not just sit there and look at a folder, bitch, of some shit. To be able to help you to, like, what's wrong with the picture here? Okay, I'm evaluating, blah, blah, blah. And so everyone is going to live by the decisions they make and the ones that they do not make, because that is a decision. Deciding not to decide, deciding to let the chips fall where they may, looking for everything to pull out of the sky for excuse because too cowardly to make an informed, intelligent decision. Honorable feminine and their children deserved a normal life, and that was taken. And everybody's going to get dealt with for it. In every moment of every hour that them and their children continue to suffer injustice, bank on it. Every emotional unrest, every annoyance and inconvenience that's manufactured, every ritual and spell, every theft, every assault and attempt at their life, their safety, their health, their well being, everybody's going to be dealt with. Everybody's being dealt with, and everybody will continue to be dealt with until justice is served, where the judicial system is a coward. Or should I say, where the judicial system is criminal because of a political agenda in some cases. The other day, I kept saying, because on, hold on, Biggie's song, hold on, I don't know why I kept hearing him say, federal agents mad because I'm fragrant. I'm like, what does that mean? I never really, why did he say that? Part of me wonder now, late in the game, like, why did he say? What made him think that? Like, for real, that ain't really something you hear a lot of rappers saying. Why was they mad? Because he's fragrant. Whatever fragrant is, I'll look into it. Some of us have had, we are born here, y'all. We come here, and we just here, and that's why I shake my head. I'm shaking my head every day because I'm like, you're here. You're here. Oh, Pointy, what's the matter with my boo boo? You look for him, brother? Oh, what's the matter with him? I'm gonna help him, brother. You want to help him, mama? Oh, what's the matter? Okay. What's the matter, Pointy? You can feel the energy, huh? Ah, I know. You're sensitive like your mama. You can tell when them shifts happen. When some yucky shit, you can also feel good shit, huh? Anywho, so world ain't nothing quite as it seems. Nothing. You got people professing to be Christians in real time, and these are some of the most heinous people walking the earth. Hideous. Some of the biggest violators you can even imagine of people's lives. Because power and authority in the wrong hands is tyranny. I believe that's in the book they read. At least they pretend to. Because it is. It's tyranny. Basically, it's the idea that there's been power, resources, and authority given to somebody who does not have depth and maturation. So they're going to be a loose cannon like a kid inside of Willy Wonka in the chocolate factory with the key to it. No restraint, no balance. Just wilding out. Just on extra status. Just doing the most. And that's what happens with people who are given a position, a title. It's going to be abused for their personal reasons. Innocent lives are going to be affected because, again, power and authority in the wrong hands is tyranny.